Mr. Fox. This is Casper. He's going to be showing you the sign language for our opening song. It's really simple. It goes like this. I choose love. I choose joy. And I choose peace. All right? So that's your part. Sing along. And during the nanas, you can move your body and rock out. Y'all ready? All right, here we go. All right, here we go. I choose love. 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 Oh, na 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 na. Na, 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 na. I choose joy. 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 Oh, na 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 na. I choose peace. 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 Oh, na 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 na. I choose love. 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 Oh, yeah. Na 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 na. I choose love. I choose love. Oh.
Oh my goodness, if that doesn't make you smile, how about another round of applause for our fabulous musicians and Casper? Yeah, I can't stop smiling. Oh gosh, good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Santa Rosa. I'm Nancy Reynolds, a member and former trustee. Happy to be sharing this final Sunday of 2025 with all of you. And again, that was just beautiful. So let's start with this thought. Each day brings transformation, changes both large and subtle. Just as the earth rotates around on its axis, bringing night and day, so too does the human heart face darkness and light. The difference is that when things become dark, we can choose to turn our hearts toward the light by taking time to recognize the living spirit within. Whether you're in the room or watching online, you are welcome here, where we recognize the light of the living spirit within all, equally and diversely. Would you please join me in reading our mission? The Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that promotes global transformation through personal transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We are motivated by a compelling global vision that inspires us to bring the gifts of compassion, integrity, and loving kindness to the world through our programs and teaching. Together, we are helping create a world that works for everyone. We embody this mission through our 5 spiritual practices. Will you please read those with me as well? Spiritual study, affirmative prayer, meditation, selfless service, and spiritual circulation. We would now like to extend a warm welcome to our first-time visitors. First-time visitors, if you'd be willing to stand right where you are as you're able, or simply raise your hand, we would like to bring you a welcome packet and a flower as a token of our gratitude that you're with us this morning. And if you're watching online, we'd love for you to drop a comment in the chat and let us know that you are here as well. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I trust that somewhere between the music, the meditation, the prayer, the practices, and the message from Reverend Russ is exactly what each of us is ready for the next step of our spiritual journey. So again, welcome. Now let's enjoy this next song, which will lead us into a time of silent contemplation and prayer.
You are a part of it. And I am a part of it. Magic happens everywhere. Take a breath, you'll find it there. You are a part of it. And I am a part of it. Magic happens everywhere. Take a breath, take a breath. Revolving tide, creating life. You are the one, I am the one. Evolving mind, healing life. You are the one, we are one. You are a part of it, and I am a part of it. Magic happens everywhere. Take a breath, you'll find it there. You are a part of it, and I am a part of it. Magic happens everywhere. Take a breath, take a breath. Revolving tide, creating life. You are the one, I am the one. Evolving mind, healing life.
What a blessing it is to come together this morning, this holy day, to hear our prayers mingle with one another, to recognize that one Creator of all life, of divine love, of beingness, knowing that we are one with it, that each and every one of us here and beyond, everything that has ever been created is one with that divine presence. We are a part of one another in this oneness. I'm feeling my sense of wholeness. God in me, as me, is me. And the same is true for each and every one. All of us together. Coming together in worship and remembering and just giving our hearts to one another, and knowing that in this very holy, peaceful season, we have that right and that ability to carry forth the feeling of peace, compassion, brotherhood, sisterhood. And so I affirm this morning, I affirm that sense of peace that each one of us leans into the Spirit divine and expresses it fully in our own unique individual way. And know that Spirit always, always hears, always knows. It is active within each one of us. That is the oneness of which we speak here at the center. That knowingness, that beingness. It is a beautiful and blessed day. It is a day of renewal, as each morning is. A day to remember, a day to embrace. And I give such thanks that our sense of peace permeates throughout the land, through every person, every race, every color, every faith, because we are all one people, one. With this knowledge, with this knowingness, with this affirmation, I simply release my word with great thanksgiving for all that is. And with nothing more to say, I just gently release and invite us all to say together, and so it is. Amen. Good morning. My name is Sherry Poole, one of the prayer practitioners here at the center, and I invite you to read this morning's affirmation with me. I embrace transformation as I align with my inner self. So it is.
The great dream that you are, the spark ignited, and you sparkle like the sunlight on the lake. You are as the fire is to flame. You are. The truth of what you are. You are a vision, a picture perfect frequency of love. You are made of stardust from above. You are. Wide as you allow, your dreams will only reach as surrender to loving what you are. For what is brighter or lighter than the surface of your soul? You are Spirit coming forth. You are, and you will bloom as white as you allow. Your dreams will only reach as far as your doubt. Don't let your fear keep you out of your now. You will remember the great dream that you are. The spark ignited, and you sparkle like the sunlight on the lake. You are as the fire is to flame. You are.
Good morning. Thank you, Astra and Atreyu and Brett and Nick, for that beautiful song. And I trust we've all had a wonderful holiday because this is our last talk of the year. And I want to start off by saying that I happen to really enjoy digging into the history of our movement. Recently, I was poking around at our National Archives and I came across an essay title that caught my attention. And the title is, How to Change Other People. And it was written by Dr. Raymond Charles Barker, who's an influential teacher in our tradition. And of course, with a title like that, how could I resist? But then I read the very first paragraph, and it undoes the whole title. He says, metaphysics is the science of handling our own thought, not the handling of other people's thought. And then Dr. Barker goes on to say that one of the most common questions spiritual teachers get is essentially, how can I pray to change someone else into the kind of person I think they should be? And then he jokes that if a teacher could offer a method for that, why, they would probably be rich and famous. But that helps to land on the real point that he's trying to make. The reason that that method doesn't exist is because it can't work. The work of change is never on other people. It's always on us. And of course, that's where I noticed that I had missed the subheading that would have made all of this all right. Sometimes people take out on others the things they don't solve for themselves. Yeah. And I know I've done that. And I've learned that it's not a good approach to relationships or community. So it's fitting that this is our last message of the year, because this past year, I know I've done my fair share of wishing that other people would change. And I'd like to start the new year free of that desire. Because the reality is that no matter how smart and inspired and well-reasoned we are, we cannot change other people. True, lasting change is an inside job. What we can do, though, is we can influence one another. And that's one of the best parts of a community like ours, because the idea of this kind of a community is that when we come together in mutual recognition of the living Spirit, this divine one that is truly everything, this living Spirit that is in everything, then we create a place that naturally encourages us all to live as authentically ourselves as we possibly can. And so we influence by example, but not by controlling. So that tells me that my work is to do my best to live my life in alignment with what I know Spirit is. And I know Spirit is that core of me that's naturally compassionate and creative and courageous, that part of me that is always in relationship with life. Now, luckily, there are many inspirational people that we can draw on for these examples, and one of them that I'm fond of is Howard Thurman. And many of you probably know who he is. If you don't, he was a minister and advisor to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. during the Civil Rights Movement. And as a black man that lived during the height of the Jim Crow era of racial segregation, I imagine he would be justified in wanting other people to change. But he writes about what he calls the altar of our consciousness in his book, The Inward Journey, saying that nothing passes the angel with the flaming sword to be placed on your altar unless it be part of the fluid area of your consent. Love that, the fluid area of your consent. And what he's talking about in plain terms is that you and I are ultimately responsible for what we let into our consciousness. And I like to think of this idea as the sovereignty of my mind, that I'm where the buck stops when it comes to my consciousness and nobody else. So his advice, it gets me thinking. It gets me thinking about the people that I allow to live rent-free in my mind, simply by wishing that those people would change. And then that makes me wonder, well, why is it that I sometimes want to change other people? And it's a good question to ask, because the answer for me, it's humbling. It turns out that I don't want other people to be fully themselves when I want them to change. What I want instead is to change them into something that they're not. I want to change them into the person that I want them to be. That's not who they really are. After all, I'm not them. How could I possibly know who they really are? So Howard Thurman's idea about guarding the altar of our consciousness had a big impact on me, because it's made me notice how many people that I am sometimes dragging around in my mind long after a conversation and interaction is over, where I'm replaying all the things that they said, and I'm coming up with things that I could have said differently that might have made them change. And I ruminate on all those ways still that I think that they should change. And well, when I'm doing this, I'm making them the reason that I'm not at peace. And this is what happens when I hand the keys of my consciousness to others, simply by wishing that they would change. Now, the urge to cling to our ideas of who we think others should be, that interferes with our real spiritual work. And that work is to recognize that every life is unfolding exactly as it should be along its own path. Not on my timeline, not according to my preferences. And that brings us to our second idea that can be summed up with this simple phrase from spiritual teacher Eric Butterworth. He says, humanity is not in the world to set it right, but to see it rightly. Now, that doesn't mean approving of harmful behavior or staying in an unsafe relationship or abandoning our discernment and reason. What it means is remembering that wholeness precedes correction. When I become preoccupied with my desire to be right, well, I can often miss a deeper invitation for my own growth. And I think of my interactions with Dr. Edward, for example, because he's always kindly giving me useful feedback about my work here at the center. But let me tell you, I have parts that resist that feedback. He knows about them. He's very good at getting past them. I appreciate that. But I have those parts that resist, that think that they're right and that their way is better. And so when they come up, I have to catch myself, because if I don't, I might lose the chance to learn something that's really valuable. In those moments, I have to remind myself of a phrase that I've heard often in our movement: you can be right or you can be free, but you don't get to be both. And I've learned that it's better to choose freedom. In choosing freedom, it has a powerful impact. And there's a story that makes it so clear to me. It's the story of the Dama brothers. And I learned about them through a documentary of that same name. And in January of 2002, a prison psychologist brought a Vipassana meditation program into the prison as a means to help reduce violence and drug abuse. And this prison was called, it's Donaldson Correctional Facility in Alabama, and it's got a bit of a reputation for being one of the more violent prisons in the United States. And so 20 prisoners, many who were serving life sentences, chose to attend a 10-day retreat that in many ways was actually stricter than their daily prison routine. And these were men who were often caught in a cycle of violence that was a result of their fears, their desires to be right, their desires to remain in control. Now, here's what this retreat looked like. They were all together in one gymnasium, sleeping together in this gymnasium with nothing but a sheet between each of them for privacy. And they would spend hours with very little speaking at all, just simply sitting in still, silent meditation. And they did this for 10 days. Now, the idea of this kind of meditation is that when we take away everything external that can distract the mind, well, the mind has no choice but to look within and to accept what we see there, including the things that we often don't want to see. And that's what these prisoners did. And it worked, because many of the prisoners and even the guards who knew them in the documentary reported these remarkable transformations in the ways that they were showing up in the world. There were noticeable declines in disciplinary action, violence, and drug use. There are even studies that show how well this program worked in other prisons that adopted it. And it's so fascinating for me when I learn that, because the circumstances of these prisoners' lives, those circumstances weren't going to change. Like I said, many of them were serving life sentences, some of them multiple life sentences, with no possibility of parole. That prison that they were in was going to be their home for the rest of their lives. But by finding inner freedom through meditation, by releasing their grasping at being right and being in control, they were able to find their way back to a sense of unity. And that feeling of unity, it didn't just benefit them, it benefited their community. That's where that name Dhamma Brothers comes from. It's the name they gave themselves as they continued their meditation practice throughout the years. Even at times when the prison itself, believe it or not, didn't want them to continue that practice. So that brings us to our third idea. I love this idea so much. Our relationships are the classroom that can teach us how we can find our way back to unity, how we can find our way back to the spirit within. You see, the Vipassana program at Donaldson, it would not have happened if there wasn't somebody who was on the outside who was willing to see the inherent wholeness and humanity of the men who were in that prison. See the inherent wholeness and humanity of men who had made inexcusable and horrific choices that surely had a negative impact on the world. But rather than throwing these men away to be forgotten, they chose to connect with them. In fact, the leaders of the meditation, they set up their sleeping quarters in the prison itself. And the prison warden would joke that they were probably the only people who were actively trying to get into the prison. But most importantly, they knew that connecting with these prisoners, if they were truly going to connect with them, they couldn't try to change them. They had to accept them exactly as they were, flaws and all. Now, for many of these men, that was the first time in their lives that anyone had actually tried to see them. Some of them even said that if somebody had seen me like these people saw me, I don't know if I would have done what I did. That one simple act, that one simple choice to try to see, that's what helped them to open up, to actually do the meditation, to actually do the program, and to look within. Because someone else was willing to see them, that helped them to be more willing to see themselves. And this reminds me, this power of seeing, it reminds me of a traditional spiritual story about a teacher who leaves his ashram for a time. And I'm going to embellish it a little bit and say, okay, the teacher goes off to get some groceries for the ashram, and while he's gone, the students, they're just fed up with one of their fellow students. He's constantly interrupting their meditations. He's always asking questions that they think are just dumb questions. And he goes on and on and on. And so while their teacher is gone, they all come together as a group and they say, buddy, you gotta go. We can't take it anymore. And so he leaves. When the teacher gets back with the groceries, he puts them down and he looks around and he says, where did that guy go? And the students proudly, they're so proud of themselves, they explain that, well, teach, we finally got rid of the guy who was messing up our meditations. And the teacher looked at them with this ashen face. He was horrified. And he rushes out of the ashram to go and find the man, and he begs him to return. And he says to the man, you were the one who kept our hearts open. Ask yourself this: who is the person that you would expel from your ashram? I know who mine are. But ask yourself, what situation, what memory, what person tempts you to shut down? Tempts you to close your heart to connection? The reality is that sometimes it's the people who challenge us the most that can inspire in us the most growth, the most transformation and change. In fact, that's what I think we strive for here at the center, not filling the center with all kinds of people that none of us like. I think most of us like each other here. But here's the thing, anyone can pick up a copy of the Science of Mind textbook and learn what Ernest Holmes is trying to teach us. But when we learn alongside other people, even and especially the ones that we don't like, well, that means that we get to practice what it truly means to be in relationship with the living Spirit, exactly as it is. And so I know that learning alongside others isn't always easy. And that's especially true, I think, when our differences clash. And that's where affirmative prayer can help. You heard an example, it was beautiful this morning from Sherry. I love affirmative prayer, but I have to start talking about it with this caution. Because when we're speaking a prayer about a situation with other people where that other person's challenging us, it can be easy for our prayer to falter and simply become another way that we're trying to change another person. I know that there were moments this year where I thought I was praying for someone else's highest good. And what was really happening was me silently praying that that person would become easier or kinder or clearer or more self-aware. I was secretly saying to myself, if that person would just change, well, everything would be all better for them and for me. If that happened, then I could relax. But that kind of a prayer, it doesn't serve us. Prayer, spiritual mind treatment, as we understand it, isn't taking our problems into the prayer. It isn't trying to fix our problems through prayer. Affirmative prayer is us bringing our awareness into the presence of the living Spirit. And in that presence, we are the ones who change. Affirmative prayer, it's a choice to see the fullness of life, no matter how life is showing up. Science of Mind teaches me that circumstances and people tend to become what I see. Not literally in the sense that I'm controlling them with my mind, but rather it teaches me that how I perceive life, how you perceive life, is what influences our relationship with life. And that's what the Science of Mind is. It's an instruction manual on how we can be in relationship with life. Exactly as life is, and exactly as life is not. When I can take care of my inner life through honesty and compassion for myself and for others, well, it's then that I notice that my relationships become kinder. They become more harmonious. All the ways that I thought I wanted that person to change, they go away. I find acceptance. So here's where I am as our year ends. I'm learning, slowly, that when I let go of trying to fix other people, wanting them to change, that I discover compassion. I discover curiosity. When I stop trying to be the editor of life, I actually get to participate in life. And when I choose freedom over being right, remaining in control, my shoulders drop, my heart opens, and I remember who I am. Now, I don't have this mastered, and frankly, I'm not sure that I ever will. But boy, am I willing to practice. And I'm so grateful to be practicing alongside all of you. So let us take that into prayer. And you can pick up a copy of this spiritual mind treatment on your way out in the social hall. There is one life, one living spirit that is the essence of all things. It is always whole, always exactly what it is. I am one with this infinite living spirit. Its wholeness is present in me, fully unique, and is always connected to the greater whole. I am Spirit's love, life, and creativity living exactly as it is in this world. I am willing here and now to see life as it is. I release any desire to fix or control how life shows up. Anytime I feel the urge to fix or control life, to fix or control other people, I turn my gaze inward, asking myself gently, what about myself am I not accepting? I accept myself fully, including the parts of me that are challenging or that I don't like. I am willing to see myself exactly as I am. I know that when I see myself clearly, I see wholeness. I know that in this wholeness is the living Spirit itself, and it is the living Spirit that always brings me back to a feeling of unity. And I am grateful for this wholeness and the peace it brings. I'm grateful to know that all is exactly as it is. I release my word into the action of the law. I see life clearly now. And so it is. I invite us all to take a nice deep breath, breathing in. Let out a big sigh. We use our breath to help us to transition to our practice of spiritual circulation and our opportunity to financially support our center. And as we come to the year's end, I just want to say how grateful I am for all of the ways that you've supported our center. And I'm curious, how many of you were at our Christmas Eve candlelighting service? Yeah, most of you. So we're able to do services like that and have that incredible music because of your support. So we are grateful for that, because I keep hearing from all of our staff and volunteers how fun that was and how meaningful it was. So I hope you had that experience as well. If you choose to give financially, there's a number of ways you can give. You can go on our website and give online. We also have text to give that I use myself. It's fast and easy. And we will pass the baskets today. So I invite our ushers to stand and to hold the sacred space. And I invite you to hold your gift close to your heart and repeat after me. I bless my gift. I send it forth to heal and prosper. It does amazing work in the world. And so it is. Ushers, please receive the gift.
I'm taking off, gotta go. Destination unknown, no holding back. Oh no, I'm discovering my flow. I'm saying yes to myself and the fire in my cells, 'cause I'm moving with the mystery, honoring myself, letting go to hear my soul. Guide, heart open wide, I fly on these melodies inside. I'm saying yes to this life and this beauty I've designed. I'm in harmony with destiny, honoring myself, letting go. You are the melody that carries on. In harmony we sing along to hear my soul. To
It's so lovely to hear all this original work by Astra. Thank you so much. Yeah. I have to ask, are the albums in the gift? Yeah, okay. Stepping stones for this music. Take it home. So beautiful. All right. Well, I would like to begin this week's announcements by first sharing some thoughts about peace. To be peaceful is an active choice we can make every day. It's a choice to turn within and recognize that peace comes from the spirit within. The best part is that the more people who find their inherent peace, the more peaceful our world becomes. Now, why these thoughts on peace? It's to cue up the invitation to join our World Peace Meditation. Make sure I said that right. The 40th World Peace Meditation, and to choose peace by meditating with people from all over the world. Now that's going to be on Wednesday, December 31st at 4 a.m. here at the center. Next, I have a reminder for anyone who has been considering applying to serve on our Board of Trustees, and that is that the deadline is approaching to apply to serve. Our trustees play, well, a really important role in our center, holding the vision and safeguarding our future. And they all share two very important things in common. They love the center, and they want to have a stake in seeing it thrive. So if that's you, the deadline to apply to serve on the board is Wednesday, the 31st. And if you're on the fence about applying, if you're still wondering what it takes to be a trustee, if you're wondering specifically what skills and talents you might bring to the board, because people do wonder about that, well, I want to invite you to have a look at the application, because the application has a way of bringing out those answers. And it may be that you also simply need to learn more about what it means to be a trustee, beyond what we've been talking about the past few Sundays. And so all of that information is in the information packet, which is available on our website. It's also available at the information table in the social hall after service. And there will be trustees outside who can share their experiences and also answer all your questions. And so just a reminder, Wednesday the 31st is the last day to submit your application. Now, as you take on the new year, you may want to explore the question, what does it mean to be a member of our center? Well, there are many benefits to affirming membership, and you can learn all about them in our free new member orientation class, which is coming up on January 25th. That's a Sunday. It's in the afternoon from 1 to 3. Dr. Edward and Reverend Russ are hosting the class, and it will be both in person and on Zoom. And what they're going to do, they're actually going to take you through sort of a virtual tour of all the things that our center has to offer. And then at the end of the class, you'll have the opportunity to call this community your spiritual home and affirm your membership. You can register for the orientation class on our website. That's CSLSR.org. Now, I have a couple of schedule updates for you. Because this coming Wednesday is New Year's Eve, we will not have a Wednesday evening service this week. But don't worry, because our Wednesday evening service will be back the following Wednesday, January 7th at 7 p.m. And at that service, Reverend Russ will help us let go of any lingering thoughts from 2025. And after that message, I can see there's a lot of lingering going on in my head. Yeah, so he's going to help us to create intentions to guide us through the new year, and he'll do that through the power of journaling. And then he also has a fantastic year of Wednesday evening services lined up for 2026. And just like this past year, the Wednesday evening service brought us topics like the spirituality of vulnerability and top core concepts from Science of Mind. Next year's Wednesday evening services will allow us to go deeper into some really interesting and diverse topics. So mark your calendar for Wednesdays. One more schedule change. Typically on the first Thursday of the month, the fabulous Astra Fox hosts her Joyful Frequency Song Circle. But because this Thursday is New Year's Day, Astra will be sharing her beautiful songs with us the following Thursday. That's January 8th. So if you'd like to experience singing as a spiritual practice, come join us on that day. And bring yourself, bring your friends, and you do not have to have any experience to sing along. All right, so I want to say thank you for spending the year with us, for being part of this community, and I want to wish you a Happy New Year.
Thank you, Nancy, and thank you all for being here today. It is time to bring our service and our year to a close, but before we do, if you are having a challenging time, or maybe you have that challenging person in your life and you would like prayer, I encourage you to go and get after-service prayer. If you're here in person, you can go back to the white table and talk to Joyce, and she'll direct you to one of our practitioners who will pray about whatever it is that your heart desires. And if you're watching online, there's a link there that you can follow that will take you to our online Zoom prayer, where you can have a free confidential prayer with one of our practitioners. So please do take advantage of that. All right, I invite us all to stand as we are able and repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it. Just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Please know with me that you are never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you're guided, sustained, and empowered by a presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly, so that in everything that we do and say and think, we honor this presence within. And so it is. Thank you so much for being here. Let's close in song.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my